This is a story called A Message of Hope. There's a group of children all aged around 10 years old, living in a neighbourhood where everyone is well off. There's one little girl called Liberty who stands out a bit more than the rest of the kids. This is because she is a bit more caring, kind, honest, thoughtful and sensitive than the other kids. One day their school teacher, Mrs. McGee, gives each of the kids a toy £20 note and asks each of the kids what they would spend the money on if it was real. Each child said that they would spend the money on a toy, a video game, clothes or shoes. Then Mrs. McGee pointed out to the kids that there was an elderly homeless man sleeping on some cardboard and begging for money on a field not far from the school. She then asked each child if they would rather still spend the money on themselves or give it to the homeless man. All of the children except for Liberty said they would keep the money for themselves. When the teacher asked Liberty why she would give her money to the homeless man, she said it was because he needed to eat and because he probably had nothing and no one to look after him. This moved Mrs. McGee almost to tears. After that, Liberty made a pact that she was going to help this man any way she could. She lived less than a 5-minute walk away from where the man was sleeping, and with her parents' permission, she would bring the man, who was called Jeff, food every day. As the years passed, Liberty helped out as a volunteer at the local homeless shelter. However, just as all the kids were doing all their final exams and preparing to leave school, one of them, Mikey, began to self-harm. When one of the other kids asked him why, he told him that his dad was putting him under a great deal of pressure to get the highest grades possible, so he'd get into medical school. He couldn't cope with the pressure, and a few days after telling his friend James about his dad, Mikey committed suicide by taking a huge overdose of painkillers in his room. Everyone was totally devastated by this, and each of them spoke about him and what kind of guy he was. A few weeks after Mikey's death, Liberty discovered that Jeff, the old man she'd been looking after and had become very fond of, had sadly passed away peacefully in his sleep. This hit Liberty really hard, and she too attempted suicide by crashing her car on purpose. Thankfully, she was fine. She suffered a concussion and a few cuts and bruises. The hospital told her that they would only allow her to go home if she agreed to have therapy, and she did agree. A few days after Liberty came home, some of Jeff's family came to see her. Turned out that he had a huge family who were more than happy to have him live with them, and they even begged him to, but he totally refused. He was happy with his lifestyle and he'd become accustomed to it. He never wanted to give that up, even though each and every day was a constant struggle. He always told Liberty that she should never ever give up hope, because no matter how bad things got in your life, no matter how bad you feel in yourself or about yourself, there is always hope out there. Hope that tomorrow will be a better and a brighter day. Hope that life is going to get better. Hope that you may soon be given opportunities. You should always grab that hope with both hands and hold on to it very tightly, always and forever. Once Liberty was well enough, she went back to the homeless shelter as a volunteer and began giving talks around the country, repeating the exact words that Jeff said to her and drilled into her time and time again and sending out that message of hope. The message of hope that has changed thousands of lives and will hopefully go on to change thousands more. The end. Thank you.